talk about I guess, the creative process, like when you're working on a Melrose Place compared to a Grinch Stole Christmas, compared to a The Shining or a Fast and the Furious, because they're all, you know, they all have different themes that you're trying to capture. So like how do you approach the various types of projects that you work on?
Okay. Well, we'll start with like Melrose Place. Now that is a more dramatic piece, right? So in some instances, it's a little easier than some of the other things that we talk about, and so there's not a lot of effects design. There might be doors and birds and wind and room tone, and, cars and things like that in those types of shows. Those are mostly dialogue driven shows, is what we call them, right? As opposed to, say, The Grinch That Stole Christmas, right? Now, that show was highly creative. I mean, because have you ever seen it?
I've seen was it
The
a
trailer?
TV show?
No,
Yeah.
this was a feature. This was a feature
Oh,
film.
the feature film? I
Yeah,
haven't seen the film, but of course I've read the book a million
right.
times.
So, you know, there was a lot of contraptions and stuff in there that, again, did not exist in real life, right? In his lair and stuff like that. There was just all these different things. And so having to, really come up with that creatively. So what typically happens is in the beginning of a show, any show, whether it be dramatic or whether it be more sound design oriented show, is you sort of sit down with, if you're not the sound supervisor, you sit down with the sound supervisor on the show. You watch the show through. You talk about the expectations that are required for the show. Um, and so once that is done, you sort of brainstorm with that. Then what they do is they give me the picture, right? I sit down with the picture, and I usually will I'll start with the simpler stuff first, right? So let's say I want to create the ambience of the cave, right? So I'll
Hmm.
figure, okay, well, what do I think this should sound like? So I'm always coming from a perspective of, if I were in this environment, what would I personally want it to sound like or expect it to sound like? Visit my website. It's www.artistryandsound.com. You can visit
pushplaypods.com.